Okay, let's go. So, I want us to follow these two formula for product development in SegWitz. Okay, first is SCL, simple, complete, and lovable. And second is these 3 points: product leadership, operational excellence, and customer intimacy. So, you see, I want to take us to a different level of building product where I'm not actually talking about development and all. No, I'm taking an approach from a more product leadership kind of approach. So this is a way for us to actually differentiate, the level of product that we are building for our clients and partners. So let's look at MVP. If you go back to 2005, 2006, how Facebook started out, you can go into facebook.com and they have very bad UI, you know, the site loads slow, they have all sorts of issues, but it was working for them. The reason is back then, when you want to launch a tech company, it's okay to build a minimum viable product which is just works functionally. you know it don't have to be exciting, it don't have to be valuable, because a lot of features which Facebook used to have back then also not valuable, what, like, the poking and all that, it wasn't convenient at all. And the reliability, I'm not sure, because that time, they used to always have their site down and all, a lot of issues. Users want to play games in Facebook, they have issues. So, but it wasn't wrong. The strategy they took to start and scale Facebook was purely functional, and that was the right approach back then. But imagine now somebody wants to start a tech company. Do you think a similar approach like Facebook will work for them? Definitely not. Nowadays, you can't build a product which is just functional and launch it into the market no more. This is where, in SegWitz, rather than talking about building an MVP for startups, we need to focus on building a product which is simple, complete, and lovable, right? What's the difference is that the workload is definitely higher now, but not exactly. Because if you look at the first triangle, all of the efforts were put on the functional side of it. But now the effort on the functional is also going towards the other factors as well, right? So because a lot of us, right, when we build an app, we almost mostly, most of the time, we focus on the functionality of it, right? like even myself, right, the first thing I want to know if it is working, right? But we shouldn't actually neglect the other area, right? Like when the QA is doing the testing, um they should actually look into the design aspects of it, the design behavior, right? If I click this button, where is it going? Because when you have a new user, or let's see ourselves as a user. Have you ever downloaded a mobile app from the Play Store or App Store, and immediately when you go into the app, there is this very funny issue where you were trying to click the button and it's just not going in, right? E- Most of the time we'll just delete the app, right? Is that simple, right? It is that simple, and that is why we shouldn't actually be talking purely about functional. Look at our test cases, look at our SRS, look at our entire strategy on how we develop products, right? We are only building functional products. We are only talking functional even until today. And not exactly wrong, no. Every other company is also doing the same thing, but we are not every other companies, right? So we need to also look at ways on how do we build products which is reliable, right? Which I believe our system and processes currently are moving to this um, direction, where how do we build reliable products? Third, convenient. Convenience is something that we don't really talk, or I'm not sure even if we are considering it, right? Um, are we building something that is actually valuable and exciting for users to use? So I believe from the first um, from the first step of us building a product, right? I feel like this is something that we should talk about. I feel that this is something that we should plan about, right? Because currently most of our plannings, most of our project breakdown, right? Everything is actually very how to say is very functional, you look at our SRS, it's just 30, 40 pages full of functions, it's 99% functions, and 1% security, because we also, do put a lot of emphasis on how do we secure our APIs and all, right? But the other part, exciting, valuable, convenient, it is non-existent, in any part of our pipeline, right? And this is where I believe, we should actually start looking into it, slowly, and we need to build our products more into this angle, right? Because until today, there is a lot of companies who are offering, MVP development, MVP mobile app development, blah blah blah, but it doesn't work anymore, right? It doesn't work anymore, and the smart startup founders who know this, right, are the one who are actually doing well in the market when they launch, right? Because reliability, when we talk about convenience and exciting, we are talking about the UI and UX part of it, right? When we are talking about valuable, we are talking about the end customers, right? And all the stakeholders who's using the product, right? So I think, why am I proposing this at this stage is, we are moving at a very process oriented culture. So I believe that the other four pillars is something that we might be missing, or the other four pillars might be something that is not being talked or not being enforced as much as we do with the functional part, right? So this is one, okay? I'm not going to go into details, but I'm just introducing, right? Later on, we can go about, by time we can go into each of the pillars. And the second is, what do we need? I was trying to think, because until today we are thinking about what needs to happen for a project to be successfully delivered, right? And SegWitz has a very, very high success rate of delivering projects, right? And we are really proud about it, right? Where a lot of other companies until today they are failing to to even, deliver what the clients, asked for. But now I'm taking another step extra, where I don't just want to talk about how do we successfully deliver a project. No, I want to talk about how do we successfully deliver a project that can end up becoming a success in the market, right? When I was thinking about that, right, if you look at it, these wheel matters. These wheel matters. What we have to achieve, we have to build the best product in that particular industry, and it have to have best total solution, the value proposition means, what are the problems, what are the pain points that this product is actually solving, right? And it have to be the best total cost, the cost of developing, maintaining, and upkeeping the technology that we're gonna build for our clients and partners, right? So when you look at it from that angle, right, internally, right, best product, best total cost, best total solution, these are byproduct. These are basically the final goal, but let's not fixate our mind at that, right? Let's go into the wheel, and you can see there is 3 points inside the wheel: product differentiation, operational competence, customer responsiveness. So let's start from operational competence. So if you look at the operational competence, right, this is how we build the product, right? How, because as a development partner for our clients and partners, there is only few things that we can do for them, right, which can actually leads them, to be doing well in their market, right? One of it is, how are we? how are we focusing on operational competence? So when we talk about operational excellence, right, don't I mean we have to build the product in a way where it should not be very difficult for them to maintain and upkeep the product when it starts scaling. What do I mean by this? You see, um, I was talking to these few startup founders, right? They are having like a huge let's take a simple example, right? When I ask them what are the server costs that they're paying every month, right? They are just having like what 200,000, 300,000 active users monthly, and they are already paying like 30 to 40,000 a month, you know, which is too huge, and this is definitely not going to help them when they scale even further, right? But when we build softwares, right, how much is our partners or clients are paying, for the same amount, for the same traffic, we are paying like 6 7,000 ringgit, right, which is very low. So we are already giving an advantage for our clients where when their product actually scale, it will scale reasonably, right? And this part of the equation is going to help them with their profitability of their company, right? And and therefore, this is a huge differentiation our clients will have when they work with us. So you see, like from a point of a development company, right? Like how are we contributing towards their operational excellence? Right? Like this is how we should operate, right? Like this is how we should think. And look at product leadership. Like a lot of times, our clients and partners they rely on our expertise because in the market, people don't see us as just a development partner anymore. Yeah, we work with a lot of huge brands. We build and maintain a lot of systems with a few hundred thousands to millions of traffic, right? And therefore, they are actually relying on us to tell them how they should build their software, right? Like what kind of things their software should have, which will help them to differentiate themselves in their market, right? So this is beyond just being a development company. That's why we call ourselves a disruptive innovation partner. Right now, actually, like this is how we give meaning to what we are calling ourselves. So and then the third one, customer intimacy. Like you see, 20 years ago, building a software is a good thing. You can the your chance of making your money back is quite high. But now we need to talk about behavior driven software, right? You can't just talk about building software, right? It have to be a behavior driven software where the software should guide the user on how the product owner intend the user to use the product, right? So it's like, let's say the user is using the software to solve certain challenges they have or certain problems that they are facing. As a development company, we have to think about how we want the user to use this software to solve the challenge that they intend to solve by using this software. So this is a different term. This is not software development. This is behavior driven software development, right? So these are some things, right, that will like massively, like differentiate us, you know, as a disruptive innovation partner, really sets us apart. And most importantly, our clients and partners, right? They won't actually see us or treat us as another, development vendor, no, because that's not what we are doing. We want to take few steps extra, right? To we want to take few steps extra in doing more. Like we want to contribute, into their into their success in the market, right? So you see, rather this is why like, I want to change our narratives to just talking about development into you know product leadership, right? Because that is how people actually see us, right? So this is the two formula, that I intend to see, it deeply takes effect not only in the way we think, but in the way we build our processes, our development pipeline, because this is the way forward. This is the way forward, actually. Yeah. So maybe, Sumit, if you have any feedback on what I just presented, maybe you can share with me.